Hi there, good afternoon. Right here is the ancient city of Salamis. I just paid my ticket entry fee, 50 Turkish lira, that is $2 US. And right here, look at that. That is a real ancient city. So, many of you who follow my channel will know that this has been a big day. This is my third video of the day. The first video was of the walled city of Famagusta here in Northern Cyprus. The city of Famagusta, or Gazimagusa is the Turkish name, is just a few miles south of here. The Mediterranean Sea, as you can see there. The country of Turkey to the north, and Southern Cyprus, or the Republic of Cyprus, to the south, very close. The second video that I filmed today was of the ruined, abandoned city of Varosha. And so it is interesting that I'm making 3 separate videos today about different abandoned, ruined cities from totally different eras of history. So Varosha is much more recent history. That is the city that was abandoned in 1974 because of the Turkish invasion of Cyprus, resulting in the green line, pardon the baby in the background, a demilitarized zone, a border that separates Cyprus into southern and northern, Greek in the south and Turkish in the north. We are here on the Turkish side, Northern Cyprus. And so that whole big resort city was abandoned as a result of that military invasion. And then here we have a city that I know nothing about yet. I didn't have the chance to do research on this this morning. I have a pamphlet in my pocket. Maybe we will see some signs as well, but you can tell just looking at it, you can get an idea of the history. Look at these statues, sadly headless. Very, very likely that they were decapitated by invaders. Whether the Arabs or Ottomans or somebody else, but the fact that all of them are missing their heads indicates that was probably the case, at least with some of them. Of course, statues have a way of losing their heads regardless, but you can tell just looking at this scene right here, this is very, very old. And then the ancient columns. But at the moment, I have no idea of the time frame yet of when this was built. It certainly looks to me very Greco-Roman, very likely, you know, in the first few centuries, or maybe even prior to that. Very likely it was founded long before Christ. The first Greeks arrived here in around 1000 or earlier BC, after the Trojan War, which is not decisively dated. But after the Trojan War, Greeks came here because they were exiled from Greece. I forget why, but they ended up in Cyprus and started a civilization. And of course, their descendants, the Greeks, are still here. Look at this, a nice mosaic. So, I will now grab the informational pamphlet and learn a bit more about this very old city. I'm guessing probably Greek, Roman, Byzantine. So we have a little problem. The pamphlet is in Turkish, and I just went back to the ticket office to ask him for one in English, and he said no, they only have it in Turkish. But I asked him as far as who first built it. He said not Greeks, but Romans and Byzantines. And here, despite being in Turkish, I can read Constantius 337 to 361 Byzans Imperatoru. So that is referencing Roman Emperor Constantine, who converted Rome to Christianity and moved the capital from Rome to Constantinople. And so I'm going to put some subtitles down below clarifying some of the basic information about the city here, exactly when it was founded. So the Greeks were here long before that, that's 337 to 361 AD. The Romans and then later the Byzantine Empire that lived here. So here we have some clear information. End of 1st century BC to 4th century AD. So that makes sense as far as corresponding with the Roman conquest of this area into Greece and then through the modern day Turkey, Anatolia, and then into the Middle East. And that appears to be Latin. Not seeing any Greek letters. Not 100% on that, because that might be a Greek letter. That might be a Greek letter. Maybe that is Greek. It just isn't quite clear enough based on the letters that are shown here. So that would be a big clue. Too bad I can't tell, because it doesn't look like Latin words. So I'm sure that somebody can clarify whether we're looking at Greek or Latin there. Yeah, that doesn't really look like Latin words, so I don't know. But Byzantine would be primarily Greek. Let's look for some more written language. Wow, that is really, really interesting. The center of the theater. I guess perhaps somebody would stand on that and give a speech. Okay, here we go. Latin. Constantine, something it looks like. Sarimo? Oh, it is so faded. That almost looks like Caesar? Sarimo? Niars something? Wow. Very, very intriguing. That looks to me like a Greek letter. But then the others, those are the same letters as Latin, but then that is the same one that I'm seeing right over there, which is Greek. But then most of it is in the Latin letters, which of course there are the same letters in Latin and Greek, some of them. And so perhaps it just happens to be the case that the words written are ones with the same letters in both Greek and Latin. This is so much different from this, as far as both the style and just the look of the words, so not sure about that. The colonnaded street. First phase of the street, 2nd century AD to 4th century AD. Second phase of the street, 4th century AD to 6th century AD. And so that puts it firmly in the Byzantine era after the fall of Rome in the 5th century. So this is very, very interesting. Finally, we have a clear answer to the Greek or Latin question. Latin. But that isn't all. Over here, we have Greek. Look at that crazy letter there. And again, Greek. There you have that same circle with the line through it that we were seeing on the pillars. So, this city was very clearly Greco-Roman. Pardon the wind, if this video gets a little scratched out, I had to change over to my GoPro and don't have a wind protector device on it. So I'm back at the beginning here, but hadn't shown all of these incredible columns. Bath Gymnasium complex, 1st century BC to 6th century AD. So it is sounding like it was as the Roman Empire fell, then this changed over to the Byzantine era, and so that may explain the Greek and the Latin. I'm not, 100% clear on all that history as far as how it developed. Was it different people during the Byzantine era? Or did the same people live here, but then they kind of learned Greek and became more Greek? Or were they sort of conquered by the Byzantines, the Romans, and then the Byzantine people took over, separate people from the Romans? Not sure about that one. If anyone wants to clarify, of course there are books about this, etc. But the two cultures were quite intertwined in many ways, and many of the residents spoke Greek and Latin. Okay, I think that I'm going to finish the video here. What a day it has been. I am hot, exhausted, and now have a drive to make back to Kyrenia. It is just an hour away, fortunately. I don't think that I will be making my various random stops this time. I think that it is mostly freeway and I will just be flying along. And besides, I am ready to return the car and complete my Northern Cyprus journey. It has been an awesome one.